Hello and welcome once again to the Forward Compatible Podcast. This is episode 36 for October 14th, 2012. My name's Tony and I'm joined by Jason.
Hi.
What's going on? Mark couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark. We miss you.
We miss you, Mark. I apologize for myself. I'm a little worse for wear. It's my birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday!
Hey, and I've been partying like crazy all week. So
like a rock star.
Yes, sir. So I'm a little off my game this week, but
so if this episode sucks, you blame Mark and Tony.
It's all my fault. But anyway, what you been up to this week, man?
Same old. Borderlands.
Same old.
Yeah. Borderlands.
Well, I didn't mean playing video game wise. Yeah.
That's all I've been doing.
Okay, rock on. What level are you?
29.
I think you're a little ahead of me now too.
Yeah.
Caught and passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been on that as much. I was
drunk.
Earlier in the week when I wasn't out doing anything.
When you weren't out being drunk.
Yeah, I was on kind of a PlayStation kick. Honestly, I was going back. I did a lot of Ratchet and Clank. I was playing 4 or 5 different games that I've gotten from PlayStation Plus that I haven't even turned on. That service throws you more games than you can play.
Yeah.
So I mean, I went back and I threw in a few games that I never even gave a shot before. Just I downloaded them just to have them on the hard drive.
Yeah.
Never got around to playing them, and I figured, why not? So I was doing a lot of PlayStation this week, and did a little bit of Borderlands, not much. I overdid that game for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really play with anybody this week. I was just kind of jump on when I could and did a little solo stuff and fucking around in Linwood and whatnot. That area is tough.
I was gone most of the week. I didn't. Wasn't even home. We go on our annual golf trip every year.
Yeah.
And that happened this week, and that was awesome, too. So I was gone. I didn't even play that much video games.
How many beers did you consume?
I don't even know. It was hazy. Anyway, I just
for a while?
I just got back like a few hours ago, like from our trip. So yeah, everything. It was good times. Good times. Do we need our weekly roundtable, or did we already kind of take care of it?
I think we kind of jumped right into that because that's all I've been doing, and you've been drunk.
Yes. Like I said,
that's the theme for the week. Tony's drunk.
A little off the game. Well, we will take care of Mark's smexy stories for him.
Yeah.
We got quite a few. I believe there's like 6 or 7 that we felt were noteworthy. Since we're already talking about Borderlands a little bit, they have their first DLC pack coming out. It got confirmed. It's going to be released on October 16th. And it is called Captain Scarlet and Her Pirate's Booty.
Yes.
And booty is clearly a play on words between a sexual innuendo and, of course, the pirate.
It actually, this week, the Necromancer came out. And it was there were some hidden files in there. And it kind of got leaked, so not IGN. IGN is the source where I read it from. Gearbox went ahead and confirmed it. There is a little bit of information on it. It focuses on a one-eyed pirate named Captain Scarlet. Yeah, one-eyed sexy chicks. It's going to be in a desert. There's going to be a shanty town, big surprise for Borderlands, called the Oasis. It's going to be $10. What else here? Some new enemies like sandworms. Anytime I hear sandworms, I don't think of Dune, I think of Beetlejuice.
I think of Tremors.
Yeah, Tremors works. A sand skiff vehicle. New currency called Seraph crystals. And then a new color class for weapons. It's kind of a pinkish color.
Now, have you checked out the Necromancer yet, or no?
I have not. I was planning on firing up and doing a little mecroing tonight. Yeah, I was just kind of
perhaps
grinding out my guy a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps we'll get on that. That's the thing. I barely played, and when I did, I I haven't finished my first character, so to me, there's no reason to go.
That's why I haven't. I'm
Deviling
still
something new yet.
I'm only halfway through my Gunzerker Salvador.
Yeah, we got a ways to go, both of us.
If you haven't, if you have the not the season pass, but what is the other one called? Premium Club.
Yeah.
The pre-order bonus, you get the Necromancer for free.
I think everyone who pre-ordered it got that.
She summons a death trap. It's like a giant, black, evil-looking claptrap type robot. That's all I really know about her so far. I tried to avoid as many spoilers going into Borderlands as I could. I wanted to be surprised. But yeah.
And I remember when in the weeks leading up to it, I remember...
It got hard. It got hard to avoid stuff.
Well, no, I was like... Because, I play a lot with Andy, and every time we'd be sitting there talking online, and he'd be like, dude, he's like, guess what I just read? And then he'd like,
tell you?
do you want me to tell you? He's like, do you want me to spoil it? Do you want me to... And I'd sit there and be like, no, and then eventually he'd get me. So
Speaking of Angry Andy, he's in New York at the Comic-Con. He sent me some information. In 2013, it's confirmed that Lego is going to be doing Ninja Turtles. So the video game tie-in could potentially be Lego Ninja Turtles coming, hopefully within the next year. That'd be kind of cool.
Of what? The movies from the 90s?
Just a little. They're not. They haven't specified. I've just seen a couple of pictures. Literally little Lego Ninja Turtles.
Oh, nowadays when people say Lego, I don't think of the actual toy.
Yeah, no.
I just assume they're talking about the video games.
They announced the Lego toy line. So hopefully we'll see some type of video game adaptation of that, because that would be awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
Rock on.
Next news story.
Speaking of Lego, segue.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm looking for it, though, because I remember there was a Lego title on here. I'm fucking just all in shambles. Something about...
Something about dick pics?
Hell, I can't find it. Whatever. Let's go on to another one.
Okay. No Lego segue.
No Lego segue. Okay, let's do the Rockstar or a Rockstar collection.
Yeah, number 1
was named. Yeah, that's the thing. It says part 1 or whatever, the episode 1 or whatever, indicating that there will be more future collections. This one confirmed is Lost and the Damned from Grand Theft Auto. Red Dead Redemption, L.A. Noire, and Midnight Club.
See, now I actually heard it was episodes of Liberty City Stories, so that would be Lost and Damned and Ballad of Gay Tony.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, rock on. I mean, if they were to, I guess, come out with a second one at some point in the future, maybe next year or something, I mean, you'd be looking at like table tennis, Bully,
GTA 4,
and maybe Max Payne.
Yeah.
And isn't there one more we're missing?
No, I think that's it, honestly. I mean, Bully's even the stretch. I know Bully was kind of a port over from the last gen onto the current gen.
Yeah, it was right at that.
Yeah, and tabletop, whatever, was right around launch time too.
Oh, that was like way early. Yeah.
Yeah, it was within that first year or so.
That'd be a cool one too.
It would be. The only thing that kind of gets me is that they're retailing for $60. That's the price that they've named, $59. I mean, granted, it's a deal, but
most of these fucking games you could get them for like $12, $13
bucks
at this point.
You know, like if it was like $40 I'd probably pick it up and revisit some of these games that I've long traded in.
That's the other thing, though. It's like, I mean, we were kind of touching on it last week as well. I love these collections. I do. I just don't think that the current generation needs current collections of current titles. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense to me. I'd love for them to be doing more of these original Xbox ports and original PS2 or PS1 titles. You could HD them if you'd like. You could add trophy support as well as achievement support and what have you, online gameplay over Xbox Live and PSN. That stuff's all great, but bring old games back, not games that are still around. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally get you.
Yeah. All right, next story. COD was in the news this week. Surprise, surprise. But for something a little bit different, actually. Modern Warfare 2, this late in the game, is getting some backlash for one of their maps from the Muslim community. Okay? The map in question is the Favela map. I don't even know if I'm saying that
Valhalla?
right. Huh?
Valhalla?
No, Favela.
Okay.
Falafel? Falafel, the falafel map.
Okay. That's what we're calling it. It's
Apparently,
the falafel.
Apparently, it took this long to bring it to Infinity Ward and Activision's attention because, from my understanding, I've never actually seen it. But if you stand in this one certain spot of the map and you zoom your scope through a window, like ridiculously in this one perfect area, you could zoom in on a poster that says Allah is beautiful and he loves beauty.
Okay, so essentially, it says God is beautiful and God loves beauty.
And the Muslims are very upset.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not Muslim.
No, but I mean, I just...
but, I guess...
That's...
I don't know.
That's pretty ridiculous. I mean, okay, you know...
With a religion, it's like, I don't know. I'm not that religion, so I don't know if it is offensive because I don't understand it. Like,
yeah.
I know I don't personally believe in it, but I was raised Catholic, so if it was something with us, I guess I'd understand why some of my fellow people would get upset.
Literally, that'd be like if you're playing a game and you find some type of stupid little poster through a window or something that says, God is good, he loves all his children. Are you going to be offended by it?
No. But
no, come on, people. You know, this happened already with, what was it, Little Big Planet 1?
Little Big Planet 1.
You know, it's absurd. Just stop it. And you know,
it's starting to bring in bigger questions now of like censorship almost of fucking one of the last true mediums that lets you do whatever the hell you want, and they're gonna fuck that up too. Pretty soon everybody's got to watch what they do with every little fucking thing. Somebody out there somewhere is gonna cry about it.
I mean, the gaming community as a whole does that pretty well on itself without help from the Muslims.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody who may be Muslim and one of our listeners. And if you are, maybe you can give us some insight.
That would help.
I don't understand it.
Let us know if that is offensive and why it is. You can educate us, and then we'll tell everybody else on the air later.
Totally.
Totally back you guys up. I don't know. Anyway, the map has since been pulled. I guess Infinity Ward's going back. They're going to remap it or whatever, just paint over that wall and then put it back in the game in a later date. So they're going to have to double patch just to take it out.
Oh, jeez.
But I mean, they got another Call of Duty launching in 3 fucking weeks?
Yeah.
The last thing on their mind is going back to a 3-year-old game to fucking update it for, you know what I mean? This is probably not going to get attention for a while.
It didn't even register that you said Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2.
That's the part, like, my brain didn't go there. I'm like, wait, it is like fucking 3-4 years old. Yeah. I was like, geez, stop it. Stop. Find something. Go bitch about the president. Leave our video games alone.
With the millions and millions of people that play COD every day, it still took like 3.5 years for almost 3 years or almost 4 years. Modern Warfare 2.
Well, it was Modern Warfare 2, and then it was
1 full year ago was Modern Warfare 3. Mm-hmm. And 2 full years ago was Black Ops. So 3 full years ago.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
It's fucking stupid.
So it took them 3 full years to find, with all these millions of people that play, that you have to go in this one little small part of this one specific map and do this one specific thing with this one specific gun. It took them that long to find it with all these people quality testing it every day. Because you guys know the Call of Duty community finds everything.
Yeah.
And it took them this long. Clearly it's not a big deal, but, you know.
It's asinine. Moving on.
Yeah.
Done with that story.
Rock on. Okay.
Literally, I'm rolling my eyes the entire time. And I apologize if it offends anybody. Please educate me and let me know if it offends any of our listeners.
Yeah.
And I'm not being sarcastic. I'd love an explanation.
The next little story we got here, this is just a little guy. But it's cool to me, so I threw it in there. I don't know if anybody cares. it got announced this past week that Toe Jam and Earl,
Yes.
a series from way back on the Sega Genesis,
93, 94?
great side scrollers, great games. They are getting brought to PSN and XBLA. They're not being HD'd or anything like that. They're just straight up.
Yeah, they look shitty.
Yeah, they're straight up 16-bit ports. I believe they're going to be $5 each.
Yep.
But I don't remember if there's a deal if you buy them both together at one time. If you get
Yeah.
a couple bucks off or not. Not much of a story there, just something that's coming cool.
My big memory of Toe Jam and Earl was the music.
Yeah.
You know, because that was like the first, at least in my memory, like hip hop game.
Yeah.
You know,
Sega's been tearing it up lately. They fell on hard times a few years back, and they've really revved it up. They're doing great decisions now.
It's nice to see them not just fall back on the same. And again, sorry, the same old bullshit Sonic games over and over.
No, yeah, it's Sega. Like, I think they finally turned a profit last year for the first time in like a decade.
Since the Dreamcast.
Yeah, they've been in trouble for a while, and I don't want to see Sega go away. So I'm glad they're doing stuff like this. There's also talks in the horizon of a second Genesis collection coming on disc.
Yeah.
That's supposed to do like whatever ones they missed, and they're also talking about making a modern day Echo the Dolphin. So I mean, it could do well. I mean, you placate on nostalgia, and gamers our age at least will check it out.
Yeah.
So they're making some moves.
Making moves.
Okay, this one I want to save for last because this is the big one. Here's another one. Okay, apparently Halo 4 got leaked. Surprise, surprise. It apparently is coming on 2 discs. One's campaign, and I believe the other's multiplayer and install.
Okay.
So basically, you're looking at it like an ODST setup. It's pretty standard nowadays. Fucking multiple discs. Everything's too big for the Xbox nowadays.
I'm not surprised that it got leaked. I mean, shit. What was it? Resident Evil. We were talking about Resident Evil getting leaked just a couple weeks ago. Shit. The iPhone got leaked. Everything nowadays get leaked. When you mass produce shit, somebody's going to be able to slip something out somewhere. Not surprised.
Especially with how close it is. I mean,
and half of me believes that sometimes they let that shit go to help generate even more hype for it. Not that a game like Halo needs more, but you know, every little bit helps. Get those early reviews out there. Get people talking. People who are on the fence.
I don't really think it matters too much. I mean, especially with a game like Halo, which is primarily based off of online competitive play.
Yeah.
I mean, if it can't get online, because pirated copies will get you booted off Xbox Live. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have the legitimate one, you might get away with it for a little bit, but they're gonna find you.
Yeah.
And you can't like if you have the disc right now. Like this happened when Call of Duty. Remember when that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 got like leaked a week before, and they were selling for like
$500-$600.
It's like
$1,000. Yeah.
It's like the whole thing is you guys want to play online.
Yeah.
There's nobody to play online against. The game's not out.
Yeah.
Why have it? Just to beat the campaign a week earlier than everybody else?
I guess.
I don't know. That's fucking. Who knows if even everything's up on Xbox Live yet, where you
Yeah.
could like cite it with with an illegal copy of the disc and actually, you know, ping achievements and stuff.
Don't worry, fans. If Tony falls asleep, you will hear a loud slap.
Yeah, start
And
slapping
then
me.
he'll
shit.
sound like a girl.
Okay.
I'm gonna call him in the morning and be like, how fucked up are you now?
Oh, there's the Lego story. Fuck.
Alright, so full segue back to Lego.
Okay, so it was part of a bigger story. That's what triggered it in my head. From New York Comic Con,
Yeah.
Sony showed up in force, and they finally did what they should have done the last 4 Sony press conferences, and that's focus on the Vita. 9 titles showed off.
Wow.
9, yes. We knew about 2 or 3 of them, but 6 of them I've never even heard of, or didn't know they were coming on the Vita in the first place. But now they're confirmed. The first one is Lego Lord of the Rings, which is what made me think of Lego.
Yeah.
Another one is called Guacamelee.
Yeah, I hate that name.
I think it's very clever. I didn't want to buy it just to spite Jason.
It's fine. I don't care. Oh, really quick. You were at work this past week.
Yeah.
And this is what triggered the thought. And I went in to pick up a copy of Resident Evil 6, which we had a discussion about last week. A pretty big discussion about.
Oh, you're talking game stuff. Okay,
yeah, and I would not allow Tony to ring me up. He was
no,
not allowed to touch.
He's like, I don't want you to touch my disc.
Nope.
Okay, so we
Sorry.
Lego Lord of the Rings, Guacamelee, Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Okay.
I can't even read my own handwriting. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Ragnarok. I might be saying that wrong. Odyssey.
Okay.
Rocket Birds. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. Smart As, which looks like a Brain Age type game.
When I first saw it, I was like, is this supposed to be Smart Ass?
And then When Vikings Attack. So those are the 9 games. The only ones I knew up to this, or up until I read that article, was PlayStation's All Stars Battle Royale and Sly Cooper. And there was rumors that the Need for Speed game was coming over, but that was it.
I think we know PlayStation Battle Royale.
We knew that already. Yeah.
That's going to be crossplay.
Yes, as is Sly Cooper,
and I think Need for Speed is too.
So that'd be kind of cool.
I think don't quote me, but I think I read something about it being crossplay also.
Yeah. And if we're talking crossplay, I know the new Ratchet and Clank that I was reading on today because it got first looks from Comic-Con out there, and people were saying it's awesome, and that's going to be crossplay as well.
Nice.
So
when is that expected?
That's going to be a DLC title. They're thinking late this year, maybe early next year. I think it's going to be a little $15 game. They actually did this before with Quest for Booty. It was a pirate game too.
There's our second booty of the night.
Booty.
We're keeping it PG. Booty.
Both pirate themed. Both plays on words. So that was the Vita talk. Nintendo was out there. They
did nothing like usual.
They didn't do much. They showed off their games a little bit more adventure.
Look at Batman.
Yeah.
That literally they were showing a bunch of features of Batman Arkham City armed with the Wii U functions.
Weird. Okay. Now, is this a rumor or is this confirmed?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a both.
So Gears of War.
Yes.
There's talks of a movie.
Yes. There was talks of a movie a little while back, a couple years, and it pulled the halo. Kind of fell by the wayside. Nobody wanted to touch it. It was originally attached to New Line Cinema. They were trying to get Ridley Scott's brother, Tony Scott, to do it. That was the gentleman, I believe. He passed away this past year. But yeah, now supposedly there's a script out there. It's made by, and it's a pirate theme. It's being done by the guy. The script is being written by the guy who written. He did Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tide.
Oh. Would you say the script is his booty?
Yeah, maybe
3 times in one.
Yeah,
I was trying. I was a little forced. I'll get to it. Scratch that one.
I've got mixed feelings about this.
When's the last good video game movie you've ever saw? Oh, that's right, never. This is gonna be a terrible fucking.
No,
film.
I'm sorry.
Who's gonna play Marcus?
Well, if my dream cast, no pun intended, would be. You'd have to have a time machine, okay? Because it would be literally John Travolta from the 90s as Marcus. I know he doesn't have the size, but they can work around that, okay? Just look at Sylvester Stallone. But now picture the goatee from Swordfish, okay? And the face, okay? Throw a bandana on him. He could be, visually, Marcus Phoenix.
Okay.
Okay. If I had my way for Dom, that would be Dwayne Johnson. I would put as Dom. The gentleman who does the voice of Coltrane looks like Coltrane.
He'd be Cole.
He'd be Cole. If you need to see what I'm talking about, check out Transformers 3. There's actually a scene where he does a very, very similar, and I didn't realize it while I was watching it. He does a rant in Transformers that triggered that coal thought in my brain. I was like, holy shit.
Coal train runs a whole grain, baby.
Woo! Sup, bitches? I don't know about Dom. I haven't put my finger... I'm sorry, Baird. I don't know who I would cast as Baird. Ideally, as stupid as it sounds, would be Robert Downey Jr. in a fucking blonde wig. Attitude-wise,
Perhaps.
he would be able to do the character, I think. That sarcastic prick.
Yeah, I don't know. I of course I'd go see it because I'd want to bitch about how poorly of a job they did. But, whatever. If they want to do it, let them do it. I'm sure they'll make money.
If they do it, and with how things have been going, there are a couple... people are trying to stay more true to the source material now. They're trying. It hasn't worked just yet.
The problem is Hollywood is not going to finance a 50, 60, 70, $100 million movie budget to somebody who actually knows the story of.
Sure.
They're going to give these things to Tim Burton. They're going to give them to fucking Steven Spielberg and shit, and those guys don't play video games. They don't know.
The only thing, I mean, I agree with you, but the chick who wrote the script for Gears 2 and 3, she's actually an author. She did the books, so they brought her on board for that. That was pretty cool. I get what you mean, but...
They won't let her write the movie, though.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
They should.
Because they're going to give it to somebody in Hollywood.
Yeah, somebody who made Pirates of the Caribbean. The fourth one.
There's not a...
Listen, maybe it's got something to do with Cliffy B leaving Epic. Who knows? It'd be awesome.
I mean, that's why, maybe that's why he left.
But I could totally... With Halo and Gears, if done properly, you have... high caliber, big budget films along the lines of Independence Day and a Star Wars type big, huge blockbuster that they could do that can appeal to mass audience. You don't have to be a video game fan, but they can still keep true to the source material because with those type of games, they play out like Hollywood blockbusters.
I suppose. I don't think it'll ever work, and I think it'd be a shitty movie.
I'm hoping that it's not.
I think because what's going to happen is they're either not going to give it a big budget because they're going to think that there's not enough video game fans that would actually go see the movie.
Resident Evil's kind of proved people wrong.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Or they have to dumb it down like they did with the Resident Evil movies,
sure,
where it does appeal to the mass audiences, and then it doesn't follow the video game at all. And that's the only two options.
I agree. I'm just saying, there is with movies nowadays like The Dark Knight. And comic books fell within the same lines as video games where they did not stick to the source material. They went ape shit. Transformers is another scenario. The nerds will come out if you do it right. And as long as you can...
Han shot first.
As long as you can appeal to both your audiences, okay, these specific series will appeal to non-video game people in the tones of the movies and things like that. Okay, I never liked Transformers as a kid. I actually enjoyed the movies quite a bit.
I wasn't that big into it either when I was a kid. Honestly, Transformers.
It
wasn't my thing. No, I don't dislike it.
I hated Transformers and G.I. Joe. I was Thundercats and Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles wasn't my shit when I was younger. Yeah. No, I didn't have a problem with Transformers. It just wasn't my favorite. There was better cartoons. Yeah. There was. People I
also didn't like He-Man. I was not a He-Man.
He-Man, I don't remember all that much of.
Yeah. Anyways, that's for the other podcast.
Yes,
that's a whole '80s cartoon podcast. But yeah, more than likely they'll fuck it up. But I'm holding out hope, especially since it's in the hands of somebody whose movie I've seen and actually enjoyed.
Excellent.
So,
all right. I got two more. This is another smaller one, I think. Metro Last Light. The devs came out and said that they are pulling all multiplayer from their upcoming release because the team that they had dedicated to it, they want to pull them off and bring them over to the campaign side of development and make sure that that is perfect. They don't want it attacked on multiplayer.
Good for them.
Good. That's what I said.
I listen to our podcast.
I applaud them. I almost want to go buy their game now, even though I didn't want it before, just to support them. Mm-hmm. The first one was okay, but this is exactly what I'm saying. Like stuff like the game can succeed if you. There are people like me. I think you're one of them as well, right? You like campaigns more than multiplayer.
Yeah, most definitely.
Campaigns take precedence to me. That's the main.
Definitely.
That's the main part of the game, and a lot of these games nowadays they're coming up, and the campaign's kind of in the back seat. That's why multiplayer.
That's why I gave up on Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's getting kind of lame. It's like a disease, and I love when the developer stands up and fucking. I mean, Batman sells well. You know what I mean?
Batman was one of my current gen all-time favorite games, and yeah, they were toying around with like co-op campaign with Catwoman, which would have been cool, but it didn't need it. Yeah. They were right; it didn't need it.
And I know I bring them up quite often too. Spec Ops. I know when I first brought it on the show, when I was first telling everybody about it, I was complaining about how broken it was. The controls were sloppy. Mm-hmm. There was a lot, and the campaign was so amazing it didn't matter. But if they would have taken the time and hours that they spent on that garbage multiplayer, that's already a ghost town. Even though the game came out a few months ago, and put those man hours to polishing and fine tuning the campaign, that game would have gotten. It would have been even better.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Good for them.
Good for them. Thanks for listening to our podcast, guys.
Yes.
We're taking credit for that.
It was all us.
All us.
Okay, this is the big guy of the week. It's the last story, okay?
Uh-huh.
FIFA 13 for the Vita. Did you hear about this?
Vita and the Wii, yeah.
Yeah. So they came out, and EA got caught doing some shady shit. All right? They were putting them up side by sides, and they literally, even like the start screen, the menus, yeah. All of them. They just took the old, whoever the soccer player was from last year, just put a different jersey on him, mm-hmm. and are charging
same poses, same everything. Just a reskin.
It literally got reskinned.
Yeah,
they went through, basically did an updated roster. And reskinned a few screens and are reselling last year's game this year for full retail. Go ahead, sir.
Come on, guys.
Sorry, real quick. Just to clarify, this is on the Vita and the Wii. So PS3 and Xboxes did get full makeovers as much as a sports title can. But yeah, for the Vita and the Wii, they literally just got rescreened.
This is the problem with the sports titles. You know? Why not just come out and do a roster update? Charge half the price of what you would for the game. People will buy that shit. People, guaranteed. Yep. Okay, if you said $30 expansion roster update for the new year, and you get to keep the same copy of the game
for
that
2,
you
3
had,
years, yeah.
They'll fucking pay it. Yeah. I would.
Yeah.
I would.
I'd be more inclined because half the reason I try to stay away from sports titles is because I know 7 or 8 months down the line they're worthless.
Exactly. You know.
I get an occasional NHL. That's about all I do.
Exactly. And, same thing with the basketball. I absolutely love the 2K basketball games. I'm still playing 10.
Yeah.
I'm still playing 10. Have no need or desire. Maybe I'll pick up next year's. Who knows? But right now, I'm fine.
Well, you don't sit around and play it for hundreds of hours a week.
No.
You pop it in for what? A game or two every month?
I've got a little season that I've been working on for like the past 2 years. Haven't completed it.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you don't have to sit there and fucking have the most modern everything because it's like whatever. You just throw it in once in a while.
To where at least with the, I guess the only comparison that I can draw, which is my Madden, my yearly game that I buy, the wrestling games at least go in and add new shit. Yeah. Granted, the characters are usually updated models, but you get new people in, you get new storylines, you get new moves, and they at least make an effort.
Well, yeah, this year they're doing the big draws, the Attitude Era and stuff.
Oh yeah,
so.
that's pretty. Well, that's next week's podcast because that'll be right before 13 comes out. Comes out October 30th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a lot to talk about that.
Well, that's not gonna be next week, sir. Well, you can talk about it. That's not topic though.
Yeah.
I got
not topic. Not
next week. I got a big boy plan.
That's my rant for next week.
Okay, rock on. Yeah, but basically, I think this is the problem you run into when you're when you're trying to program a game for PC and PS3 and Xbox and Vita and Wii that are all such different platforms, and when you cut corners, if I wasn't charging, I'm not trying to justify this at all. I'm just saying, if I was EA, these are the exact the two systems I would skimp onto.
Yes, I'm not disagreeing, but then, with the crossplay, there's your answer to the Vita one. And why are you still releasing the game on the Wii? You're lucky if you're going to sell 15 copies.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying that shit on the Wii.
It's a waste of print.
Exactly. It's a waste of print, and it's a waste of time to reskin it.
Yeah, just a rough idea. We got about, because they all came the same day, we got about, I want to say, 150 Resident Evil 6s, about 200 NBAs, and one copy of Wii U FIFA 13. Or, excuse me, Wii.
Yeah.
Not Wii U, excuse me.
Yeah. It's worthless.
Yeah.
Worthless.
One came in for the entire store.
Fuck you, EA. Yeah. Don't try to take advantage of the people that pay hard-earned money.
There's talks of a class action lawsuit being raised up for this, yeah. This is going to get him in some shit.
If I cared more, I'd do it.
Yeah, this
I'd go out and buy it just to be able to sue him.
Yeah, this is going to turn into a big deal because I guess a lot of people are saying it's basically because last year on the Vita technically it wasn't FIFA 12, it was just called FIFA Soccer Vita or whatever, and that's basically what it is. But you guys know the way sports titles work is now that 13 came out, 12 is basically worthless.
Yeah,
and people are saying they can go pick up 12 probably brand new in the clearance bin for $10-15 or used for like $3-4. And it's the same game as what's being sold to them for $40, brand new. So, excuse me. That's that.
All right. Well, that means it's time for some social media.
Email?
No, social media.
Email?
All right, for Marcus, Gmail. We got a couple of questions this week. We'll kick it off with Andrew Dillon.
What's up, Andrew?
Andrew Dillon asks, what are your favorite memories from the N64?
Good question.
Yeah.
For me, my favorite game probably from the 64. It's really close.
I think I know, but I'm going to wait to hear you say it.
See, I got a lot of good ones. Okay, I'm gonna use two. Okay, I'm gonna do a personal memory and a with people memory. Okay, I'll start off with personal. Personal memory, I think, has to be actually a majority of it, but in Mario 64.
Okay,
it's probably my favorite game on that system, and the one level I like the most is the Snow World. I think it's like
fucking penguins.
World 4, yeah, where you have to race, and yeah, I love that. But the whole game in general, just still when I pop that game in, it's I think it's the best looking game on 64, and considering it was a launch title, that's a little sad, but it is. And I love that game, I do.
Okay.
With everybody, I'd have to say it's got to be in this guy who I unfortunately don't talk to anymore, but we were childhood friends, just kind of drifted. And sitting in his basement playing GoldenEye 64 with the two of us, one other buddy, and his little brother. And we'd sit around and just play that thing for hours on end. Man with the Golden Gun was our favorite game mode. We used to just run around and do that all the time. And sometimes we'd do slappers only. That was funny. And yeah, there's some good memories playing GoldenEye.
Nice. Mine is Legend of Zelda, but it's
which one?
That's what I'm saying. I know I'm going to get shit for it. It's not Ocarina. It's Majora.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved the concept. I loved the tone, how it was darker, that impending doom. always trying to keep track of the time, and I still to this day have my Majora's Mask strategy guide, which I did not use until I beat the game, but I kept notes in the back for what time you met every person and who got what mask and everything like that. So that was my favorite. Behind that, I know it's a Banjo-Kazooie ripoff, but it's Donkey Kong. I really had a lot of fun with that one too. I love the Mario Kart, Smash Brothers. Those were all great titles, but the two that stand out in my mind are those two.
Yeah. I still think with Majora's Mask, I agree, man. I still think that was actually the better title. Mm-hmm. And I think there's kind of a resurgence right now of people going back and realizing that
how unique it was.
No, that Ocarina of Time, not that it's overrated, it's
overplayed.
Overhyped, maybe.
Yeah.
Like people that, it doesn't matter how good the new game is. It's just automatically there's no way it could be better than Ocarina of Time. You know, that's just how people talk. And now they think they're going back and they play them both again, and I think it is kind of evident. And I'm waiting. If that gets HD'd on the 3DS, I might finally bite.
Yeah.
Because then there's 4 or 5 games I want.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I might be right there with you.
Yeah. Because, that's what held me back from, that's what holds me back from getting a console at launch. I get everything eventually, everything. I own everything that's ever come out. But I usually wait on the ones I don't care about as much, or if there's only a game or two, I kind of wait for the library to develop. And by then there's used copies available for cheaper and pre-owned systems and what have you. And I don't know, the 3DS since launch, I've been fighting it kicking and screaming because all it is a DS with 3D capability. But now the games don't come out for my DS anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, whatever. But those Ocarina of Time look good, but I've played through it so many times, and it's available in every digital store and so on and so forth. But now if Majora's Mask comes out, now you're talking.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Next question is from Epic Beast.
What's going on, sir?
He asked, when all the 4th gen consoles come out, which one do you guys want more and why?
4th gen. Wait, what?
I think he meant the
eighth,
next. Yeah,
8th gen?
It's the 8th gen.
Yeah. Well, maybe, yeah. Okay.
Either. Okay, when the...
Next generation. We'll call it next gen.
The next gen of the current gen comes out.
Me, personally, I'm looking probably the most forward to PlayStation 4.
Ooh. Fucker.
Why? Is that your answer?
No.
Okay.
We're always on the opposite ends.
Here's why. The Wii U already showed its hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more powerful than the 360 and the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly the oh my god, I can't wait for this fucking thing to come out type thing. We've talked about it at great lengths already. Okay, so to me it becomes between the 720 or the PS4. Right now, I made no secret about it. I enjoy the 360 a lot more than the PS3. The PS3 is the better system. It is. It's more powerful. Everything about it is better. It does more. The thing is, 360 has a lock on community. They have a stranglehold on it. Everything about Xbox Live is better than PSN. The chat system, the lag, the connectivity, the community, everything is better. The social stuff is far better on Xbox, and that's why I get multi-platform games on that console, okay? When the PS4 comes out, they've learned from all their mistakes. You already see that on the Vita. The Vita already has party chat. It has all these things where you can get in a party and not have to play the same game. And all the things that they screwed up on the PS3 that people hold on a pedestal on the 360, they're obviously not going to make those same mistakes twice. So I think the few shortcomings that they screwed up will all be rectified. On top of that, they have a way, way bigger arsenal of first-party developers. And I think Xbox is going to make the mistake of putting way too much into the Kinect 2 and forgetting about just regular controller play. The shit that the people that made Xbox popular and who bought the 360 for the first 5 6 years. The core, they keep forgetting about them and leaving them. And also, on top of that, I think Xbox is in a little bit of trouble with all their first-party developers. We were touching on that a little bit last week, too. I was leaving. Sorry, go ahead. I went a little on.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I was a PS1 guy. I was a PS2 guy. I haven't really supported Nintendo as much since, I'd say, the N64.
Yeah.
Okay. I was a little bit late to the game come 360. But my experiences on the 360 as compared to my PlayStation 3 have triumphed, hand over fist. I want my gamer score to transfer over. I know obviously that's not, everything that I want out of the 360, none of it is confirmed. But I like the direction that they're going with the console as far as the integration to be the main centerpiece of your home entertainment console. And I want the connectivity that I've previously had. Now, I know you just said Sony is jumping on and playing catch-up with that. But my friends, yourself included, I mean, obviously, you're going to buy
I'm getting both. Yeah. It's like day one, both of them. I can't wait for either one. I want to make that clear. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess just for me, I have all 3 consoles currently. The one that I use the most is my Xbox. It's where I can find all my friends on, and I have my little community built. And I've got just about the same amount of people on my PlayStation, but it's not the same.
I know that's exactly my problem with it too. There's not that social integration.
Exactly that, and then I guess no, you're good. And I know you said it does more and everything, but like I've got my HBO Go, my Hulu, my Netflix, all the movies and stuff and TV shows that I've bought, which I'm hoping will carry over. Would be really nice. So I have monetary investment in the next Xbox console if these features carry over. So like I've already invested not only in my video game library, but my entertainment library into it. Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing
is really quick, which is another reason, and you guys bust my balls all the time, which is perfectly fine. Honest to God, have no problem with it. But that's one of the reasons that I still stick with Apple, because I have my iTunes library, and now I've got my books, and I've got my comic books, and my TV shows and my movies.
Yeah, and every time you buy the new Apple, it's always right there.
Exactly. That's the other reason that I kind of stick. Once I find something I like, I stick with it. I support it until they piss me off.
Yeah, I think PS4 is going to have a major tie-in with Google, because Sony and Google have been in talks. They've been doing the whole Google TV thing.
Yeah.
They're obviously partnering up a lot before, and Sony doesn't have that big. They have all the stuff through their own store, but it's just weird and it's not high powered enough. Mm-hmm. And if they partnered up with Google and lined up with the Google library, mm-hmm. they'd have basically the iTunes equivalent on a console, which nobody else has.
Which may point me in that direction. But, I'm not discrediting the next PlayStation or anything like that. But all my current gen memories, with the exception of Twisted Metal and Back to the Future, because that's what Back to the Future was available on, all fall on Xbox.
Yeah.
My Gears of War and everything like that. I'm not even a huge Halo fan, which I've stated, but the awesome times that I've had playing that. And I don't get the same experience out of the PlayStation as much. My memory for PlayStation goes to, wow, it's pretty cool that I can go fucking bowling. And I'm not being sarcastic. I've actually, if you catch me on my PlayStation, it's guaranteed that once I'm done playing whatever I'm playing or whatever movie I'm watching, I'm bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah. No joke.
Yeah. I'm looking ridiculously forward to both these. I think they're going to be great. I just it's obviously all speculation at this point, but
sure.
Yeah, I bet when they do come out, I'm probably going to be a lot where I am right now. which is everybody who I play with, the big serious core group of gamers, is all going to have the 720. And that's what I'm going to have to buy all the multi-platform games on, whether it's better or not, just because that's where it is.
That's where your friends are.
Yeah, but for me and my single-player stories, which Sony I feel excels at, especially with their first-party developers, through the guys at Sucker Punch and Insomniac and Naughty Dog and all these guys at Media Molecule, and they just pump out these amazing games, and that's what I use my Sony for. Sure. Single-player experiences.
I'm not trying to discredit the Wii. I know, or the Nintendo. I know they've shown their hand, but they are the wild card here. They have, in my opinion, the most to prove. Okay, I know we're gonna get into a little bit more Nintendo talk.
Yeah.
But I think this time around, they've got to hit it and put everything out there.
I agree with you because it's pretty obvious with that they're the wild card with Sony and Xbox. You can almost predict that sales will mimic. I think they'd be slightly higher, but they'll mimic those of the 360 and the PS3.
Sure.
You get those 50, 60 million lifetime sales. You know what I mean? It'll start off hot and heavy in the beginning and kind of taper off. Maybe you got 10 million year one sales, and that's what you expect. That's what you're known to do. With Nintendo, the Wii U will be their fifth home console. Nintendo Super 64, GameCube, Wii. Sixth, Wii U. Yeah? NES, Super NES.
NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, Wii
U.
Wii U.
It'll be their sixth home console. The last two of their five are complete opposite ends of the spectrum. I think the GameCube sold 18 million units, and the fucking Wii, the next one that came out after that, is just shy of 100 million units.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no, what the hell is the Wii U going to sell? Sure, the pre-orders are sold out, but that's the Nintendo faithful that ran out and scooped up. I mean, that many weren't really available for pre-order.
Yeah.
They really weren't. I mean, every store got capped, very quickly. So it's not like 100 million got pre-ordered, and that's why
this is your first console launch in the industry as
retail,
as an employee. It's interesting.
Yeah. So to me, I think Nintendo should be cautiously optimistic. I don't think they're going to be GameCube numbers with the Wii U, but you're also you got to take into account that the Wii sold so many consoles to non-gamers.
Yeah.
And I don't think Nintendo's going to... So many old people came in for the Wii because they wanted Wii Bowling, or they wanted Wii Sports or whatever.
The casual.
Okay? They're not going to strike gold with them twice. The 70-year-old grandmas are not looking to upgrade their graphics.
They're not going to try to fuck around with a tablet either.
And they probably haven't turned their Wii on in a few years, so there's no reason to upgrade. I think
they got a fight ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
But
they are definitely the wild card.
Look at this current generation. I almost said past generation. Nobody expected. I mean, again, I completely 100% agree with you that Nintendo catered to outside of the box of the industry, and it worked for them. They've got to pull out something like that again. Not saying necessarily catering to outside the demographic, but they've definitely got to pull something big out to keep that lead, if you will.
And I think they know that they got to do that, because if you look at what's been announced thus far for the Wii U, I've said this before on the show, I think it seems to me like it's got an identity crisis. Mm-hmm. It doesn't know what it's going to be. And I think what Nintendo's doing is good and bad at the same time. Bad because it looks terrible for people like me that analyze this kind of shit, but good in the sense that there's 6 different ways to control this fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's it can develop into a lot of stuff because these developers have this arsenal of tools.
They're not restricted by the Wii remote they were this.
Yeah, it's hey, you want to use a tablet? Use the fucking tablet. You want to use the Xbox controller? Use the Xbox controller. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it.
I know.
It's just like
we established that.
It's Sony Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
and it's the Nintendo Xbox controller.
Just like the, ooh, yeah.
So, or you could Wii Motion Plus. You could what's the other one? Isn't there? And then they're gonna have it's gonna still use the old. What the hell's the Wii controller called?
The Classic.
The Classic.
Yeah.
So,
rock on.
lots of stuff.
We've got one final question coming in from Magnus. Magnus asked, if you could have one video game you always wanted, past, present, or future, what would it be?
Wait, what?
Any game that you want, that you've never had, past, present, or future, what would it be? What is your game? Like the game that
I've never played?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have yours? I don't know.
I've got mine. You're gonna roll your eyes at me. I want another City of Heroes, and I don't necessarily mean City of Heroes 2, but the community that I was a part of and still am a part of, at least until the end of November, and the friends that I've made and the adventures that I've gone on with them. I definitely want more of that. Whether it's, another... Obviously, I would prefer like a superhero type game, but I'm open to other ideas. But I want that companionship and that camaraderie. And I know it's kind of a general answer, but we could play Borderlands, and yeah, it's a couple of close friends that play, but this was bigger than that. It's on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Other than that, I want an M-rated Zelda game. That'd be awesome.
Oh wait. So we could make up what? I guess
that's
I'm
what
not
I'm
understanding
doing.
the question.
I'm making up what kind of game I would want. That's the way I'm taking it.
Okay.
I also want Lego Mortal Kombat. Tell me you wouldn't play Lego Mortal Kombat.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be phenomenal.
Okay. I suppose if we're talking... Here's the thing. If this would have been asked to me a while back, it'd be a far different story. But now, I got a decent job and stuff, and if I want something, I go buy it. So there's not like when I was younger, if you would ask me before I was making money and I had to rely on allowances, birthdays, and Christmases for video games, there was a ridiculous amount of stuff that I wanted in the video game world that I was never able to obtain, but I got it later on in life. If there's just especially now in the days of emulation, even if there's something that you just kind of wanted to check out, it's just a few mouse clicks away. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But if there's something, if you're talking about like an actual game, I'd have to say like either Chrono Trigger or Earthbound for the SNES, just because of the sheer rareness and worth of them if they were boxed.
Sure.
Just to have it on my shelf. Not even because I care that it's worth the $300 or $400 or whatever the hell they're going for nowadays, because that's not... It's just to... almost bragging rights. Like, hey, I got a sealed Chrono Trigger at home.
Yeah, I get you. I don't know if there's anything like that I would particularly...
Did I answer him right?
Yeah,
Is that what he kind of wanted?
I think I went one direction with it, and you stuck a little bit more to the source material, and I'm going to actually answer in the form that you were talking about. Obviously, default answer is I would absolutely love to have a sealed copy of the original Legend of Zelda. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. I have to say though, like, I'm not a collector. I mean, I know I have video game propaganda and memorabilia and things like that, but when it comes to the games themselves, I don't want something sitting sealed on my shelf. I want to open it. I want to play with it.
Yeah, I don't really have much of sealed anything.
All the games that you haven't gotten to yet.
I have like 5 or 6 current gen ones,
Yeah.
but they're not sealed because I'm waiting for them to be collectible.
Yeah.
They're sealed because I can't fucking get to them. So
Sweet. Well, that's our social media for the week.
email.
Thanks for writing in.
Rock on. Send more questions, guys.
Definitely. With the absence of Mark, we're going to postpone our regularly scheduled tournament time.
Yeah, we got to wait for Mark. So.
But I thought that sticking with the nature of it, that we could do something kind of interesting here. And we'll do a little bonus battle royal.
Yes.
Okay? And my thought was, since it's been a game that's been in the forefront for us here as of late, I'd like to do a quick little versus on Borderlands 1 characters versus Borderlands 2 characters, and who we think would win in a fight. So, for instance, Salvador right against Brick, Axton versus Roland, Maya versus, I don't know what the new chick's name is.
Zero.
No, the chick.
I don't know either.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
And then I would do Mordecai versus Zero.
I think Roland. Okay, so we'll kick it off. I think Roland is the better soldier type class.
Okay.
He's cooler. He's funnier. He's more. I mean, even as you're playing through the campaign of the second game, I mean, they're kind of built similarly.
Okay.
And actually, Roland had some cooler stuff for his class mods, so I enjoyed, because that's the class I play, so I know it most in depth. Roland was cooler.
Yeah. I'll save my two guys for last.
Salvador and Axton.
Yeah, Salvador and Brick.
Brick. That's right.
We'll go to the two sirens. Again, I can't. Whatever life of me.
This new one is cool.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of the chick from the first one. I was like, okay, it's cool. Not really my thing. This new one, I haven't played as her yet, but it looks pretty badass.
Just her special is awesome. She's my pick.
Okay,
is the one from the new game. So
okay, I'll take that. Mordecai versus Zero, and I really wish Angry Andy was here because those were his two guys, and he could not chime in.
This is the class I'm least familiar with, but I do play with Andy a lot, and I see him playing, and I think the second game.
You think Zero? Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. He did some crazy shit with Mordecai, especially with Bloodwing. He had some crazy shit going on with him. You know what I didn't like is that how Mordecai now...
It's kind of a little bitch.
They made him out like Jack Sparrow. He's like a drunk,
Yeah.
I'm not digging it. And Zero's kind of a badass. Zero reminds me a lot of Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm gonna go with Zero is because Zero is the only straight melee character. With his ability in Borderlands 2.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying with Mordecai, they kind of made them all like bitches they brought back Borderlands 1 characters.
Yeah.
From what I've met and seen so far in Borderlands 2, they're all like idiotic morons. Like even Roland, they made him such a little bitch.
You know what really pissed me off? Brick's voice.
Yeah.
And I take no offense, and I'm not trying to be racist, but like Brick's black, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to Salvador against Brick.
Okay.
It's mine. You want to go ahead?
They both. I mean, Salvador's obviously really small, but he's got the Gunzerk.
Yeah.
Brick is probably my. I didn't play with him very much. I had to get that one achievement with him.
Yeah.
So I had to play with him for like an hour or two. But he is my least favorite character in Borderlands.
Okay. I prefer Brick over Salvador.
Okay.
I liked the Berserk where he just runs around screaming and punching things. I do like the Gunzerking. It can be tricky sometimes. Obviously, I don't have a fully leveled up character yet, but I really liked running around punching the shit out of people, and he's just screaming and laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
So I've got to give it to Brick. So I think we're split, right? We got Roland wins.
Are we on a grill of Roland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roland wins. The new chick wins. Did we decide on Zero or Mordecai?
I thought Zero's cooler.
Okay, we'll give it to Zero.
So this is the only one we're split on.
Yeah, and then I gotta take Brick.
Like I said, this is the one I least like. I mean, because I played. I didn't give Brick a fair shake.
Sure,
that's what I'm trying to say. Like I played with him for a little because there's an achievement where you had to like level him up to level.
You berserk
5
on,
or 10.
You berserk on like 10 people.
You had like 10 guilt. Yeah.
I'm more of the balls out, gonna run in and punch the shit out of things and blow things up guy. That's always been my style, is the running gun. So I liked Brick more. I like the fact that dude puts away his guns and just literally starts punching the shit out of everything.
Yeah, very cool.
It was fun punching Cromerex.
Cromerex, Jesus Christ!
How many levels did you get that night?
We killed him so many times. Well, that was kind of cool. It was a nice little filler,
yeah. Just something to kind of keep the spirit of the tournament going.
We'll kick it back off next week with Mark again.
Yep, and we'll definitely we'll reveal the next ones. I didn't want to reveal them and let people forget about them and
for a week and a half. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, damn it, he's only missed. This is his second episode he's ever missed.
Mm-hmm.
And last time was when we were talking the Wii U.
He's just got something again. Well, wait, reel it back. What time is it?
Tony's topic of the week. Nice.
Yes. There you go.
So this week, it's about 2 days short of exactly a month, 2 or 3 days in a month. This is as close as we're going to get to the final month of the Wii. So I figured we would give it a send-off or a farewell party, I suppose, in honor of that coming up. And then, I don't know, kind of talk about some of the highs, what it contributed, and what it really brought to the table for video games as a whole. So this week we're going to be basically talking that. And what I was trying to get at earlier was that Mark seems to miss all the Nintendo topic of the weeks.
Yeah.
So we're not going to really get to hear his opinion on this one either. But so I guess let's kick it off with what the Wii brought to video gaming.
Waggle controls. Shovelware.
Well, that was the Atari's fault.
Yeah. It brought, and I still don't see it as necessarily a negative, but it brought a new way to play games. It got people up off the couch, moving around, and interacting, not necessarily in a new way, because in some way, shape, or form, motion gaming was around since the late 80s, early 90s. But
oh shit! But did that one count? Not really, right?
The
Virtual Boy, because then we just count out there.
I'm talking. Was it Nintendo or Sega that actually had like a? Right, it looked like a Hot Wheel track with sensors, and you'd stand in it and you would do motions and shit, and it didn't work right.
Yeah.
And then you had the Power Glove, and the track pads and the dance games. Those I consider to a regard motion gaming. But it brought some unique innovations. Granted, they were flawed. And they didn't work how they were trying to make it work. But they did bring a new aspect to what we do as a hobby.
Yeah, I agree. That's obviously Nintendo's biggest contribution to the modern era of gaming. They may have not been first, but they're definitely the ones that brought it back and popularized it. I mean, without the Wii coming out, which, you'd never have the Kinect or the Move, which some might argue would have been a good thing if those never existed. But, I mean, that's a lot of games, a lot of developers that got to stay employed and make games. The branching out effect of what Nintendo brought, helped a lot of people. So I make no secret of it. I'm not a big fan of motion gaming, But I see, I understand, and if they keep with it, and Microsoft ended up coming out with this Kinect 2 and then a Kinect 3 and so on and so forth, and Sony keeps moving forward, that eventually
moving forward,
it's a play on words. That's what I do.
Booty,
booty. Eventually, maybe they'll get it to a place where they've been promising it. Supposed to be 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2-3 generations in the future, they'll finally get it to work right.
I know on this show we give motion gaming a lot of shit because we consider ourselves core gamers.
Yeah.
But if you rewind back to the early 2000s and everything, video games, while still unique, and you still had new content and new gameplay coming out, there was really no innovation in how you played the games. So I really, I have to give them credit for at least trying something outside of the box. I don't like the way that it went, how motion gaming is associated with casual gamers. I think, like you said, in a couple of generations, it can be integrated better into the core, but for a company that had become at that point so stale and stagnant with what they were doing, I got to give them major props for going way the fuck over into left field and trying something completely different than what Sony and Microsoft were doing. They knew they couldn't beat them in graphics. They knew they couldn't beat them with online gaming. So what did they do? They were able to, in some regards, beat them in a different way. We can't play your game. We're going to play ours, and we're going to do it better than you do.
Speaking of which, that brings up my next point. I did not pull up the most recent 360 and PS3 numbers. I just thought about it now, but they're both floating around 60 million units.
Okay.
Right? Xbox is 4 or 5 million units ahead still. The Wii, as of I just pulled it. June 30th, 2012, is at 96.5 million. So just shy of 100 million units. So they're basically beating the Xbox or the PS3, take your pick, by 40 million units. Mm-hmm. Put that in perspective, the GameCube only sold 20 million. That's 2 full runs of GameCubes. That's how much ahead of the PS3 and the Xbox they are.
Yeah.
Did they win this generation, though?
Well, are we talking from...
That's up to your interpretation.
Well, here's how I'm going to break it down. This is entertainment, and it's a business. From an entertainment standpoint, no. I don't feel that they did. Okay? There was too much of the same things coming out, too much shovelware, and it was too muddied. The waters were too muddied to determine what was good and what was bad. Okay, from a business standpoint, I feel that they are the ones that are going to walk away with the money in their pocket.
Yeah,
I feel right out of the gate they were making money. As to where I know Microsoft and Sony struggled for the first year or so.
They were selling at a loss. Yeah. Nintendo always sold at a profit.
Exactly. So if we're looking at the business aspect of it, because again, when you talk video games, you have to look at the industry and the entertainment form of it. Business-wise, they won. Entertainment-wise, no.
Yeah, I have to tend to agree with almost what you said. With most of what you said. Yeah, to the bank, all that stuff like that. Nintendo won. They were the only ones selling at a profit. They made money its entire run. Now they've probably gotten to the point where these Wii's cost like $20 to put out. Mm-hmm. They're still selling them for a bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really, really old technology in these things and plastic. You know what I mean? But what I think happened, at least perception-wise, unless you have the ridiculously big Nintendo fanboys that'll fight you all day about it, they lost a lot of credibility, I feel, with this that came out, because they did, a lot of people don't like to admit it, they kind of got burned. People paid a lot of money for this. They went out, they got all these accessories. There's a handful of great games on it.
Sure.
That's about it. And stuff that a lot of people forget is the attach rate is the lowest in the history of any video game console. And for those who don't know, the attach rate is how they measure how popular the console is after sales. So, I mean, you buy your Wii, and then, like, for me, personally, I got roughly 100 360 games, okay? So its attach rate's 100 from me. You know what I mean? You start averaging that in with every other 360 owner in the world. Nintendo is the lowest ever, meaning people bought it and either just used Wii Sports or maybe bought one other game, got tired of it, and never turned the fucking thing on again.
Yeah.
Which sucks for them.
Well, now, statistically, though, I believe it is still ranked very high as far as Netflix goes.
It was, at a time, the highest, whatchamacallit,
used, like, home device for Netflix?
For Netflix, at a time.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I know, but I'm saying, I mean, you know, that still plays a factor into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only argument that I'll make against what you say is, again, roll it back to the end of the N64, the beginning of the GameCube. They weren't doing anything there that was incredible. Yes, there was, in my mind, better titles in those generations. You know, less bullshit, but people weren't buying it then. You know, you said what, 18 million GameCubes?
Yeah, something like that. 18, 19.
Yeah,
maybe a little more. It's around 20.
You know, they had to bundle Zelda in it with it at one point. They had to do that with the N64. They were going the route of Sega. They were on their way out, and they grasped at straws, and it paid off for them.
Yeah, the last truly successful console they had is Super.
Yeah,
Super sold like mad.
And
64 was fine.
And Super's big competition was Sega. And I'm not a Sega kid, okay?
I was.
But Sega always, to me, looked better.
They had, yeah. It's, I don't know. I just, because there's a lot of, I guess I'm talking maybe more from the heart. A lot of people, I mean, it just, especially the old timer, not old timers, but people in their late 20s, early 30s that have.
We are old timers now.
for the gaming world, yes, yeah. we're pretty old. That's what I'm saying. People that have been around. It's not our first rodeo. You know what I mean? We've grew up 6 generations of consoles. We've done this many a times, and it's like every time Nintendo does this, they for me, I drift further and further away from them. Where it's gotten to the point, like I said 3-4 weeks ago when we did the Wii U, I don't even know if I want this fucking thing.
Sure. And I part of that is, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead, finish.
Well, go ahead, because now
I'll
go back to it.
I was going to say part of that is it's like the Disney effect. You know, you have nostalgia for some classic Disney movies, or how we were talking with 80s cartoons. Okay, those will not hold up today.
I know if you tried to rewatch them.
You tried it, and it's the same thing. You know, how many times can you try to reinvent Mario? You know, what other crazy shit can this little plumber guy do?
Yeah.
They are dying a slow death in the regards of what new properties have they come out with, not counting the stupid little Wii people.
Yeah.
Okay. On the 3DS was what, Kid Icarus? But I mean, granted, Kid Icarus was an NES game.
They had that, brought that back. Kingdom Hearts helped them a lot as well, 3D.
Yeah, and then there's Pokemon, but Pokemon's never really succeeded on console how it should.
That is a portable game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I honest to God feel that there could be a phenomenal Pokemon game, especially with the Wii U. But I have nothing but open heart and nostalgia for the Marios and the Zeldas, but how many times can you go back to that well?
Yeah. I don't know. I was getting at it with that earlier. Was that like Nintendo? It's like they started me on gaming, so I always have respect with the NES.
Yeah.
But literally the second, I kind of jumped ship the second something else was available. The next generation, to me, because my first gen was Nintendo.
Okay.
My second gen, I owned both, but I was a Genesis gamer. Okay. Then the third gen came around. And Sega was falling off the map. I jumped ship to Sony. Stuck with Sony for the PS1. Yeah, I had the N64, but the PS1 is what I played. Then, next gen came around. I was PS2 and Xbox. Yeah, I had the GameCube. That thing barely ever got turned on, except for, Then the next ones came out.
Yes, yeah.
I had PS3 and Xbox 360, and yeah, I got the Wii, but it's just like every gen, they to me, personally, they become less and less what I fell in love with when I was a small child, and more of what I despise about this industry.
Sure. For me, I agree. I started off with NES and an Atari. The Atari didn't obviously mean much of anything to me. Got SNES over Genesis, N64, and then I got my PlayStation, and I played the hell out of my PlayStation. Went to GameCube, and then my PlayStation 2 had nothing to do with the original Xbox, mostly because I absolutely, completely despised that fucking controller. I despised the Duke.
Really?
Yes.
Bugs you that much?
Yes. The fucking black and white buttons. That I could never adapt to it.
I don't know. They never bugged me.
Bought this current generation. Bought a Wii before I got an Xbox and a PS3, and it sat there. It was cool for a couple weeks. It was cool to play Zelda. After that, it didn't do anything.
Yep, one of the best paperweights.
So I mean, I know my Nintendo loyalty, and not in a negative way, kind of runs a little bit deeper than yours.
It does.
In that respect, but it's I agree with you. I won't go as far as to say that it's things that I hate from the gaming industry, but it's kind of like, I love Batman, and if it was still Batman the animated series from when I was a kid, I probably still wouldn't follow it, because there's no real jump, there's no real appeal. I know I reference it all the time. And it kind of goes hand in hand with gaming for me. I'm a wrestling fan, okay? And wrestling in the 80s and the early 90s was very campy, very kid-friendly, okay? And then when I became, a preteen and a teen, that's when it got edgy, and it got, it appealed to me. It grew with me.
Grew with you, yeah.
And the Nintendo hasn't done that.
Yeah.
It hasn't grown with me. It's a fond memory from my childhood, but it hasn't evolved with me. I guess that's the absolute best way I can sum it up, is it hasn't grown with me.
It's very well said. This is not going. I love.
Sorry.
I love the Nintendo talk.
We were going to praise them.
See, that's what we said when we started this. That's what I'm saying. The conversation's going like we got to keep going.
I'm
going
to cry. It feels like Nintendo's dying.
It's
here.
like, and that's the thing. They're not, and they're making money hand over fist. They're fine financially. But yeah, when we started this, we're like, this is their send-off. It's for the Wii. It's kind of like a final goodbye and a farewell. Let's talk nicely about it. And
I think part of it is, too, yes, we're both in our late 20s, but neither of us have kids.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another big aspect that we're not looking at currently. It's a great family council that will grow with your kids, and that as parents, you can go back and play some of the games that you loved as a kid with your kids. That is one thing that you can never ever take away from them. Yeah. I know for me, being able to sit with some of my, and that's some of my greatest memories with Nintendo in general, is kind of, I bought my cousins their N64 for them for Christmas, and sat there and played games with them.
Sorry.
My girlfriend's parents, my girlfriend's father's a gamer. Her mom, not so much. but we have a blast playing, Mario and Mario Kart and stuff. It does bridge that generation gap both forward and backward quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I got to give them a lot of credit for that.
Rock on.
Okay. I turned that around pretty quick, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk. Okay, this is part of the 7th gen. I forgot to bring this up earlier. I just want to throw it in there real quick. Launch was November 19th, 2006, and the new one's coming out on the 18th.
Yeah, something like that.
So that would be roughly...
Yeah, not September 18th.
Exactly 6 years the console would have been in Nintendo's showcase console, because it probably won't just die the day the Wii U comes out. I bet they'll support it for quite a bit afterwards, just not as highly. Let's talk the controls. Seeing what you think of the Wiimote.
Good and bad. My obviously my first experience with the Wiimote, two completely different ends of the spectrum, was Wii Sports, which came bundled in with my system, and I got Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. It was fun. It did what it was supposed to do at that time. When it was still pure and fresh and before all the shovelware and everything. I didn't feel that it was gimmicky. I liked the way that I interacted with Link playing the game. And I mean, this is even before Motion Plus. So for me, it was a new experience, and it was fun. I remember like the first time that I figured out to draw the crossbow or to draw the bow and arrow back, and then the little remote makes a noise. I was like, that's fucking cool. I think the gimmick is over for the Wii remote, but at the beginning, when I first got the console, playing WarioWare and everything like that, it was fun. And I actually was one of the people with the broken strap that hit the TV and didn't break the TV.
Really?
Yeah. We were playing baseball.
I don't even use that fucking strap.
I know. I was just saying, we were playing baseball, and it slipped out of my hand, and it went, right into the TV. And how the fuck are you gonna break a TV like that? I don't get that. In the beginning, I enjoyed it. I liked when they came out with the classic controller for a couple of games. Then it started to get weird, balance board and all that other...
All gimmicks.
But yeah, exactly, and I think that's... And again, I know this is like, celebrating Nintendo. They tried to push too much on us.
Yeah.
Focus on improving the quality of the Wii Remote itself instead of tacking on 15, 20 different accessories. I do like that it was kind of the resurgence of the Zapper in regards that games were able to kind of use that again. That was really cool for me. Red Steel, broken ass controls, but it was fun to kind of actually. And I know Time Crisis and things like that had it, but I guess on a cost effective level, it was kind of cool to play that style of game again.
Yeah. For me, the Wii remote was actually like a key cornerstone in Nintendo selling so well to non-core gamers, because the accessibility that it brought to the everyman. Because like, I know a lot of people, they look at, if you don't, to us it's second nature because we all play games constantly.
Sure.
But for a person who maybe left for 10 or 15 years and now they came back because they had a child or something like that, and they haven't grown up and they don't understand what dual analog controls and all that, because the last thing they played was the NES 20 years ago, and they had an A and a B button and a D-pad. What the Wiimote did was it makes it simple for people that stepped away for a long time, or for people who never picked up a controller at all in the first place. It's simple to understand. You can, somebody who doesn't even speak the same language as you, I could probably explain how to play most Wii games to them.
Sure. Just
by acting the motions out with my body. Just be like, and it's really easy the way Nintendo made it to understand point click. There's only a couple buttons, and you just kind of move, and it does on the screen what you need it to do.
I've got a perfect example of exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, my mom tried to play games with me when she was younger, or when I was younger. Excuse me, sorry, Mom. I know you listen.
She was younger too.
She's gonna kick my ass for that. Though.
When you were younger, she was younger.
She's still gonna kick my ass.
Just saying.
I remember trying to play like Mario Kart and shit with her on the Super Nintendo, and she would always try to turn the controller as she was trying to steer the character on screen, and she just never. And she's gonna fucking hate me for it. She never grasped the concept of pushing the D-pad. So fast forward, 15 years from that, she comes over, throw on Mario Kart, and she can actually play the game now.
Now she can steer. Yeah.
And now she owns a fucking Xbox and a Kinect.
Yeah. That's the great thing about Wii is it can introduce a lot of people into what it is we do. And as much as sometimes the casuals bug me, the money toward the industry never bothers me, which is why I don't get super upset. Because sure, you got the bro gamers like the Call of Duty
dude,
guys.
bro,
that buy 2 games a year, Call of Duty and Madden, and that's all they do. It sucks that they're grouped in with the rest of us. What? They're the ones that help Call of Duty sell 10 million units a year, or whatever the fuck it sells. Without that $60 million being pumped into the video gaming community, who knows how different the world would look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the bro gamers actually piss me off more than the casual Wii gamers.
Yeah.
They do. Because at least the casual Wii gamers, they'll buy the bullshit. They're like, this looks like fun, I'll try this. They're willing to give them a shot, give them a chance. They're willing to spend a little bit of money. And I know you said the attach rate was low, and I obviously, it's statistic and I believe it, but I mean, I can't even compare when the Wii first came out, those first couple of years, how many Wii games I sold to people based on my recommendations and everything like that.
You also got to take into account there's twice as many consoles.
Sure.
So I mean, like,
I know I'm not debating the statistic. I mean,
if you're saying, if you're selling the same amount of Xbox and Wii titles, that's sad for the Wii because there's twice as many units. Sure. It's like selling half as many games.
Again, I totally get it. But at least people were coming out and looking at the stuff and supporting, like you said, the industry. And for as much. Here's another good point. I don't know if it's on your bulletins, and I apologize if I'm jumping ahead, but it kind of falls in line. With as much bullshit as the video game industry had gotten over the years, Nintendo did kind of kick it into the mainstream a little bit more.
They saved it.
Yeah.
Nintendo saved everything.
Yeah. It was all about violence in video games, and then all of a sudden you hear these awesome stories of an 80-year-old grandma playing with her 10-year-old kid playing bowling. Mm-hmm. And completely changing a lot of people's perspective on what the industry is.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo's if they were the ones that saved it in the 80s, they're the ones that are also attributing to a lot of bad stuff. Now, a few years later, they kind of reversed their roles because I know what you were saying that the casuals don't bug you too much. The money's great, but they're also to blame for a lot of the shovelware.
Yeah, I agree.
These developers would not be able to put this shit past people like us and our listeners. We see past that bullshit. Okay, those
way to appeal to the fucking fans there.
Those if they're listening to us, they're video gamers. You know what I mean?
I know, but way to blow smoke up their ass and boost. There you go.
But I'm just saying, like, if the developers know that they can't sell that shit to us, they fucking know we see right through that crap.
I bought a game party.
They literally put that shit out to prey on fucking people who don't know any better. That's where all the shovelware comes from.
On the flip side to that, though, I do have to actually give Nintendo a little bit of credit to what we're seeing now, and I know you're kind of against it, but the mobile industry has the casual gamer has followed into that and has helped some really good independent I know there's a lot of bullshit on phones and tablets and things like that. But there's a lot of really good gems there too. Like Angry Birds. I don't think we would have seen something like that if it wasn't for Nintendo's influence with the current gen and the way things played out with the Wii.
Yeah. No, mobile gaming doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when people say mobile gaming is the way of the future. Or when all these great developers for home consoles and stuff jump ship because right now the gold rush is in mobile gaming. And they're just leaving great companies and they're screwing us out of good games on our consoles because right now they see the chance to make a quick buck in mobile.
Not to get too far off topic, but I'm going to comment on what you said. I don't feel that mobile gaming is the way of the future. I feel it has a place in the future, and it's going to be a big market that's not going to go away. But the way of the future, I do not agree with at all.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen.
And that does play into the Wii U a little bit in regards. So it's not too far off topic.
All right. Well, that takes care of that. I actually only had one last big thing I want to talk about, and then we can wrap it up.
Sure.
I wanted to list, I was thinking, your favorite games. I didn't have an exact amount of whatever. If you want to list off a handful or a dozen or whatever you want to do. Maybe talk about them briefly, and then I was thinking we'd close it out with our absolute favorite Wii game that we've ever played.
Okay.
So,
you can
say whatever you want.
Just recently, in the past month and a half, I was a big Smash Brothers player on the GameCube. Never really got around to it on the Wii because by the time it came out, I had moved on from the Wii. Went out and picked up Smash Brothers. Absolutely loved it. I have no problems with it, no qualms. Love the game. Mario Kart, another great one. Most of mine are going to be Nintendo first party. Donkey Kong Country Returns, another phenomenal game for me. I did appreciate a couple of the game parties and things like that. They were kind of fun. The Conduit was awesome. That was another awesome one.
Chicago made.
Yeah. The new Super Mario Brothers, bringing it back to the old school, was another awesome one for me. I'm really trying to think of some third party ones that I played, but I don't play Nintendo for third party. I play Nintendo for Nintendo.
That's what people do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I want to throw this out there. When I had my first Wii, I actually, within that first year, downloaded 26 virtual console games because it was a way for me to go. I mean, I've got my NES and stuff. I unfortunately no longer have an SNES, but it also afforded me an opportunity to play some of those. And when WiiWare came out to kind of discover more indie games and everything like that, even before I had the Xbox and the indie game market.
Yeah. For me, I mean, we've got a couple overlapping ones like the Conduit and Donkey Kong Country Returns. That was a great one. A lot of my favorite ones, I guess, were like I loved Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I've talked about it on several occasions as well. I know it's a little kiddie, but I really enjoyed it.
Epic Yarn was phenomenal.
That's what I was about to say. Kirby's Epic Yarn is the one I was leading into.
Sorry.
That one's very childish. I love it. I don't fucking care. Whatever. Make fun of me. I don't give a shit.
There's nothing wrong with that game. That game, the art style, the fact that you don't die in it, great starting point for any kid trying to get into gaming. And it's something very unique.
It's a good platformer.
Exactly.
And I love platformers.
Yeah,
that's like what I do.
And just the look of it and the way it played, very unique. Very unique.
I really enjoyed, I talked about this several times as well, Epic Mickey. I love that game. The only thing that was wrong with that game was that sadly it was on the Wii. You know what I mean? Like, that was a true game that motion was way too tacked on, and it was its only downfall.
Sure.
Where if that game would have waited for the Wii U, where you could have had the option to play motion or sit down, that game would have done 100 times better, I think, because I don't think it sold very well but it was a good fucking game. I love Epic Mickey. The other game that are big that I kind of want to talk about is the Super Marios. I know you said earlier that you kind of think Mario's a little dried out, and I didn't really comment on that because I disagree.
It was more of, not necessarily my opinion, just a thought of the way that the state of Nintendo is going.
Yeah. But for me, I think Mario always finds amazing ways to reinvent the wheel. With Mario specifically,
because as long as it's sticking with Mario and it's not him playing basketball and shit.
No, I'm talking about the two main branches. I mean, usually there was only one up until whatever, but now there's the 3D world branch, which you throw in your galaxies and stuff like that. But then there's still the side scrolling branch that comes out. And that's your new Super Marios and whatnot. So now they kind of branched off into two different directions. But I think they do an amazing job. I mean, even with, like you said, I mean, how many times can you go left to right? But what they do then is, like the latest one with all the gold collecting.
Yeah.
It's just like the new suits, new power-ups. I mean, I heard the campaign was a little short, but to me, they're always a genius. And Super Mario Galaxy was one of the best ones. I think it's the third best Mario that ever came out.
Okay.
I really do. And I hate motion gaming. You guys always hear me talk about it. So that speaks volumes of how much I respect that game.
I found New Super Mario Brothers Wii to actually have a bit of a challenge, and that I think that was part of my issue with Mario. Is like Mario became very predictable. Yes, he had new gimmicks and new suits and everything like that, but you knew that you jumped on the Goomba's head. You knew you could pick up the turtle shells. But this one, it almost harkened back for me to like Mario 3 and Mario World, where there was actually a level of difficulty to it.
Yeah,
which I greatly appreciated.
Yeah, that's a great game. Typically, I prefer those actually, but as opposed to the open world. But like I said, I actually go toward the Super Mario Galaxy with that one. 1 and 2, they were fucking amazing. I love them. I still go back and revisit them once in a while. Those are great games. And then, of course, I know you didn't think it was the best in the series by any stretch, but I thought Skyward Sword was an amazing game. I may have had blinders on. I still didn't beat it. There's certain franchises that it may very well be garbage. And I can't tell because I just smile the whole time when I'm playing them. James Bond's another great example. I'm sure it comes out next week. I'm sure I'm going to have nothing but great things to say. Even if everybody gives it 5 out of 10s, because I just go into those, and as soon as I sit down, I'm just all smiles, and I'm enjoying myself. And Zelda's another franchise that does that to me, where even if it's, I'll sit there and push myself through motion gaming and standing up like a jackass and swinging a fake sword because it's Zelda. And this, to me, Skyward Sword was a fucking blast.
This was the first, and I believe I've stated it, how dead set against Wind Waker I was, so much that I sold my GameCube and was like, screw you. This was the first time that I actually did not complete a Zelda game and just did not care for it. And I think, honestly, a big part of it was the motion plus controls with it, for me, were a little odd.
It's still broken.
And they tried to implement it into it a little too much. Now, if I would have had the option to play that with a controller, I probably, like with a traditional, I probably would have grin and bear it through the first couple of hours of the really crappy beginning of the story. But I couldn't do it. The drawn out beginning, along with the motion control not working properly for me, did it in for me.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, I wanted to. I know I bash it a lot, but I wanted to give a little bit more.
You gotta speak your mind, man. You can't.
People are gonna request that I remove my tattoo.
No, I mean, I think that's a series that I'm not alone on with the blinders, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I mean, sometimes like a Zelda game comes out and everybody's just like, they slap a 10 on it. They're just like, oh, perfect game. It's like they're not all perfect.
Yeah.
I remember that one guy when Skyward Sword came out. He gave it like an 8.5.
And everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, people like wanted him to lose his job. An 8.5 is an amazing score. And people were like threatening him and stuff because he didn't give it a perfect score when everybody else did. It's like, that's his job. He's a critic. He was being critical of a game. And most games would kill for an 8.5.
Sure.
That's a very good score.
I'm going to redeem myself in a minute here.
By all means.
Well, I'm going to wait. Are we done with our we're going into our top?
I'm trying to think if there's anything I forgot, and I'm assuming the second we turn off the mic, I'll be like,
God damn it.
Oh my God, that game.
Okay.
But as it sits, I think I hit a majority of them.
My number one.
Your favorite Wii game?
By far, not a perfect game, like you just said. Not even my favorite in the series, but my favorite on the console was Twilight Princess. Mm-hmm. I loved the look of it. I love I have a weird thing where I like when it's more realistic looking. I like the dark tones to it. Okay, that's appeals to the fan in me. Especially, it's like I was saying, because I'm getting older. So the kiddie campy stuff kind of wears on me a little bit.
Yep.
So I really appreciated that it was, for me, nice harken back to Ocarina, but then it had dark undertones, kind of like what Majora did. And at the time, like I said, the controls were new and fresh, and they weren't played out. And I really, really enjoyed it. And being that the Wii became such a quote-unquote party system, where you couldn't enjoy yourself unless you had another person sitting there playing with you, which was 90% of the games, that being a solo game really did it for me. That's my number one, and I know people will disagree with me, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Take that.
Suck on it.
What's up, bitches?
What's up, bitches? Mine, as much as I loved Skyward Sword, and I think it was the better game, is not the one that I've spent the most time with.
Okay.
That is honestly, it's kind of out of left field, but it's either Epic Mickey, which I know is like I said, not that big of a game, and people are probably like, what? But yeah, I keep playing that so much, so it's one of the, I mean...
It was a gem. It was a gem in a pile of shit.
Yeah, the Wii does not have trophies or achievements, so there's not very much motivation to run around and collect every collectible in any game. There's just no point.
Yeah, but that's an old school mentality, though, of trying to get all the shit.
That game did it so well that it made me want to run around and collect everything, even though there was no recognition online that I've gone through and done that. And the other game that was honestly the better of the games and probably deserves my number one spot would be Super Mario Galaxy. I think 2 was the better game, but it was just more 1.
Yeah.
And 1 is the one that like completely like reinvented the wheel, and it was my favorite Mario since 64. Because then, I mean, as much as like Sunshine was a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't like the whole fucking controlling water bullshit. It was, I don't know, it was kind of, it was weird. It was a weak point in the Mario series. We could be honest. But that was the first open world game that went back to what I felt 64 left off. It was just like perfect. I mean, yeah, and
that's how Zelda felt for me.
Yeah, and it's like even the way that they did the smaller worlds where, I mean, you could beat a stage in like 2-3 minutes. You don't have to sit there and apply like.
But then they had the big epic, massive like planet spanning levels and everything. It was really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed Galaxy a lot. I mean, it suffered the least from controller problems, like camera problems of almost any, because even Epic Mickey was guilty of that a lot as well, was controller angle problems. I mean, it's just...
It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
Yep. But, go ahead.
Oh, no, this is for the end. It's for the end.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. When you bring it home.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Cool.
Final thoughts.
My final thoughts is like I stated, is Nintendo really needs to come out guns blazing. I appreciated the time that I spent with the Wii. It's not the best time that I've had with a Nintendo system, but it's not the worst either. Okay, my eyes still burn from the Virtual Boy. Yeah, that's how I'm ending. That's how I'm ending it. We do have to give our shout out for the week too. So
Go ahead.
We'll give your final thoughts on Wii. And then we'll do it. Let's keep in pace.
You got a shout out earlier, bitch.
No, it's not for me.
Okay. For me, I think the Wii brought a lot of great things to the table. If not to the whole video game world, at least to Nintendo's world. And if nothing else, Nintendo has a very loyal fan base. So to them, to a lot of people, this stuff was very innovative, even though it came a little late to the game. But now Nintendo has it in its arsenal for, the remainder of Nintendo's life.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like backward compatibility, which Nintendo never had prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
They stole it from Sony, but, now they had it. And now every
It's
console...
kind of funny that they stole it from Sony and then Sony dropped it.
Yeah, and now every console from here on will always, I think at least, will support backwards compatibility. There's also cross compatibility, where the DS and the Wii actually, it was very terrible and very broken, but they talked. Online connectivity. Nintendo, up until that point, had never had a console be online. The friend codes was a terrible experiment gone wrong, but it was there. It was their version of, being able to have an online community. The Wii Shop, it was their first shot at a digital store.
I like the Wii Shop.
Yeah.
I gotta give
it's a little bit of a mess, but whatever.
Yeah, but I meant just the content-wise.
Yeah. And aside from that, we'll see how it pans out. I don't think it's going to work, but I might be wrong because maybe all these casual people that they did bring on board, maybe they will run out and get a Wii U. You never know. My speculation is they won't, but if nothing else, I mean, they made an ass load of money, and nobody does it like Nintendo. They get fucking doubted. That's why I don't think it's going to have low sales, the Wii U, because everybody doubts Nintendo every time they launch something. They have for as many fanboys they have the exact amount. They have probably more haters.
Yeah.
That everything's like, oh, this is the end. Nintendo's done, finally. And all this other shit, and it's like, and then they just come out and sell a gazillion of everything, and it's like, now what?
Yeah.
So, it's probably, the Wii is probably not my most, it's not going to go down in history as a console I looked super fondly on. I'm not going to think back to this generation and be like, oh yeah, that Wii, that was awesome. Much like I don't look back last gen and think much of the GameCube, or, you know what I mean, a couple generations ago I don't think much of the Sega Saturn, you know what I mean? It's, there's always that console that doesn't stick as much in your mind, and unfortunately I think the Wii is going to be that, but I enjoyed my time with it. It had some great games like I listed. It brought me some smiles, and ultimately at the end of the day, that's all the console's meant to do, is bring you a little happiness in your otherwise mundane life.
Yeah.
So,
the 8-year-old in me really wants to see them continuing.
I'm a closet. I want them to. Even back on this podcast, when the Wii U just was getting teased at, I was so happy because I thought that the gimmick was over, and I thought the Wii we could put it behind us, and I thought they were going to put out this fucking monster console and just shut everybody up.
The revolution.
The thing that I want from Nintendo, but it's just, I mean, the Wii U's not out yet, so I don't know, but from what I've seen, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah. Cool.
So
we're going to bring it home now. The shout out for the week, for the 8-bit song of the week last week, goes out to Stoked. He got it right. It was, I Think I'm Paranoid by Garbage. That's right.
Fucking A. All right, I guess that about wraps us up.
Yeah.
This has been episode 36.
36.
Yeah, episode 36. Please tune in next week, same time, same place.
謎解きアクション戸惑うことなくのめり込もうもちのろんスーパーファミコン